Now that we've talked about cleaning up the pesticides or toxic chemicals in our food, it's time to clean up the kitchen too. Unfortunately, antibacterial and antimicrobial cleaners, disinfectants, and soap can contain pesticides. So when you clean your kitchen with these products, you are essentially or potentially spreading a layer of pesticides in and around surfaces, floors, and countertops, thereby exposing food, yourself, your children, your pets, or anyone else who visits to these chemicals. Also, most conventional cleaners contain petroleum ingredients or volatile chemicals like perchloroethylene and toluene, which are toxic, and some are considered neurotoxins and human carcinogens. It is a fact that more than 275 different active ingredients can be found in a variety of antibacterial products that are classified as pesticides by the EPA. In order for a manufacturer to put the antibacterial label on a cleaner, the active ingredient has to be registered with the EPA as a pesticide. So now let's think about that for a moment. When you clean with these antibacterial cleaners, you are making them available to breathe and absorb, and that's just not really healthy. Instead, let's help clients to find non-toxic cleaners for their home that are healthier for them and for their family. And when choosing these new cleaning products, look for products that are non-toxic, 100% biodegradable, and yet don't contain chlorine, antimicrobials, phosphates, dyes, or artificial fragrance, and is still safe for septic systems. Most importantly, remember the term clean doesn't really have a smell or even a fragrance unless you're using real essential oils. The majority of all fragrance contains synthetic toxic chemicals that contain a group of chemicals known as phthalates that are toxic to humans and the environment. If you are a fan of using fragrance in your home, choose products that use only real essential oils as the fragrance. Or have your client add their own essential oils to their fragrance-free, non-toxic cleaners. Non-stick cookware is a great choice if you're looking for an efficient method to save time and effort, but would you be willing to compromise your health if you knew that the surfaces of the non-stick cookware releases a potential human carcinogen into the atmosphere known as PFOA? The molecules remain intact in the air and they can affect plants, people, and animals. Instead of buying non-stick cooking pans, encourage your client to just use the regular metal pans as we all remember from back in the day. Now chances are you yourself probably own at least one piece of Teflon or other type of toxic non-stick cookware. Toxic fumes from the Teflon chemicals released from pots and pans at high temperatures can kill birds and cause people to develop flu-like symptoms called Teflon flu, or, as scientists describe it, polymer fume fever. From saucepans to baking sheets and muffin tins, cooking products with finishes made of perfluorinated chemicals, or PFCs, that leach toxins remain the mainstay in many homes across the country. It is a long and costly process for eco-conscious consumers to switch completely from cookware that's been coated with toxic finishes to those that are non-toxic. So encourage your client to do this one step at a time. Take inventory of the Teflon and non-stick items in their kitchen and have them replace each item with a non-toxic version throughout the year. To most professionals who make their living working in a kitchen, plastics just don't seem to make much sense. Plastic easily melts and can leach chemicals into cooked food. So, the best bet may be to use stainless steel spatulas, ladles and spoons, wooden spoons, glass or metal measuring cups, and measuring spoons. Silicone has become an interesting newer player in this group of kitchen items. Silicone is a synthetic rubber which contains bonded silicone, a natural element abundant in sand and rock, and oxygen. Although stainless cookware is preferred, silicone kitchen products seem to be everywhere these days. Sales of these products have ballooned into the millions. The advantages of silicone include heat resistance, flexibility, the fact that it can go directly from the oven or microwave into the freezer or refrigerator, and that it is generally easy to clean. Silicone containers are also environmentally friendly. The snap-on lids can eliminate the need for plastic wrap or aluminum foil. Additionally, silicone appears to be safe. It is an inert material and nothing used in its manufacture will leach into foods. So far, no safety problems have been reported. Since silicone cookware is relatively new, we don't know much about how long it will last, however. BPA is a chemical ingredient that is commonly found in plastics including hard, clear plastics and in the lining of canned foods, frozen food trays, and microwave soup containers, plastic baby food packaging, and really just about anything labeled microwave safe in the packaging. Studies have shown that BPA mimics human hormones like estrogen. It's now become common knowledge that increased levels of hormones can encourage certain cancers, especially estrogen. Studies have shown that BPA causes breast tissue changes that resemble early stages of breast cancer in mice and humans. BPA has also been seen to stimulate prostate cancer cells. We want to encourage clients to avoid BPA. Plastics are made from petroleum-based chemicals and ingredients. And this is enough of a concern for most to take pause because, as we've mentioned, and as you might suspect, these chemical ingredients can leach into our foods and drinks. Plastics also age and degrade once they are exposed to heat, whether from a microwave, an oven, or even just hot water. Detergents also cause plastic to degrade, and over time, plastics may become brittle and crack. In this state, plastics are more likely to leach toxic chemicals like BPA or bisphenol A into your food and drinks. Plastics are also highly fat-soluble, meaning that they can contaminate fatty, oily foods and high-fat meals when they're stored in plastic. Now, when it comes to microwaving food and plastic packaging, it's really important for us to remember that there really is no such thing as safe microwavable plastic. Studies have shown that as plastic products age and are repeatedly exposed to levels of high heat from microwaves or from a dishwasher, they are more likely to leach higher amounts of BPA into what is stored in it or what it's in contact with. Now you can see why we should discourage against the use of plastics. It will be hard for your client to escape using plastics, especially if it's been a lifelong habit, but clients can reduce exposure to plastic by simply making different choices, like choosing glass food storage containers over plastic. Cutting boards are an essential kitchen tool, and much has been written and publicized about whether plastic or wood is safer. But for years, the FDA, or the Food and Drug Administration, and the USDA, or the United States Department of Agriculture, have recommended the use of plastic cutting boards. However, two different studies done by top researchers and biologists at two different college institutions would prove otherwise. A food microbiologist at the University of Wisconsin wanted to develop a sanitation technique for wood cutting boards. They intentionally contaminated wood and plastic cutting boards with over 10,000 E. coli and salmonella bacteria. The results were pretty startling. Within 3 minutes of the inoculation, virtually all of the bacteria on the wood cutting board were gone. But the bacteria on the plastic cutting board, after 3 minutes, was still alive and going strong. Like studies that evaluate sponges, running a plastic cutting board through a dishwasher only make the bacteria more efficient and stronger. Microwaving them won't help either, as they simply lack high enough temperatures to kill the bacteria. So most of us will pay more attention to the ingredients in our food than the container that it's stored in, but really the latter is just as important. So whether our client buys foods that come in plastic from the market or they use containers at home to store foods in their refrigerator, they should know the potential dangers that come with using plastic. Most plastics contain BPA, and this is used to make plastic hard, and it's found in a wide variety of products such as water bottles, cans, medical devices, CDs, and more. So why do we need to worry about BPA? Well, exposure to this chemical has been linked to cancer as well as reproductive problems, making it a good idea for our client to limit the amount of BPA-carrying products that they use at any particular time. To make matters worse, products labeled BPA-free aren't necessarily safe either, so we really have to be smart and teach our client to be smart as well. A chemical that is often used to replace BPA is BPS and has been shown to have effects on the endocrine system that are similar to BPA, and it can affect thyroid function as well. While we don't know the extent to which using plastic containers for the things that we eat and drink will affect us, if there is an option to use a safer alternative, we should try that instead. But for clients who really struggle with this, try to sell them instead on the effects of plastic on our environment. There are 4 easy ways that we can eliminate plastic or reduce its usage in our kitchen. First, swapping out plastic wrap. Second, use reusable food storage bags. Third, opt for glass, especially for storage and baking. And fourth, pick a better water bottle, one that is not lined with BPA, and replace it with a glass or stainless steel version.